Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us this morning as we get into another conversation focusing on a different aspect of education. Now, sometimes throughout the learning process, whether it be primary school, secondary school, and even tertiary education, you tend to wonder who are really the students. Sometimes the parents actually stress out a bit more than the actual students when it comes to the work at hand. But students do go through a lot. They face a lot, oftentimes silently, where they don't even speak to their peers or their parents. A lot of coping mechanisms that are available, but we are not necessarily aware of them. And that is why a team of three, if you count the CEO of Fun, which we'll get into a bit later on, actually have produced a program which empowers children with such coping mechanisms, and it provides emotional support and social support to primary and secondary school students throughout the learning process. I'm joined this morning by the founder and managing director of Survival Scholars, Ms. Dawsher Charles, and she's with me in studio. Hello there, welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Indeed, I'm curious to know, though, the first thing that came to mind is Survival Scholars. Where did this name stem from?
So the name Survival Scholars stemmed from my personal story, going through school, the different challenges that I faced, having to test my resilience, and then being able to succeed despite those challenges that I would have faced. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The personal experience that you'd have gone through, all that you would have faced, have you come to learn that it is something quite common that students do go through, students experience, but in silence?
Definitely. So we do school tours, and what I share with students is that each and every one of them have a story that they are building, a story of challenges, of trials, of triumphs, and whatever decisions they make, it's them writing their story. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have, on Survival Scholars website, described Survival Scholars as a social enterprise.
Yes.
Why?
So we are a social enterprise because of our core value in terms of supporting students' well-being, their mental health, and their academics. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you find a balance between all of that? Remember, these are teenagers, these are not even teenagers, we're talking about students within the primary school setting, we're talking secondary school. They are facing a lot, going through life, learning a lot, experiencing a lot for the first time. Finding that balance is very difficult.
Most definitely, and throughout life, it's challenging for us to find our balance, but the main key is for us to become self-aware. And that is what we teach students to be and do while they go through their educational journey, to become self-aware, to learn about yourself, to learn about your study strategies, to learn the point at which you know that you cannot take anymore and you need to break for self-care. So we teach students these different skills so that they can take it over into their work life.
You mentioned something there, study strategy. I haven't heard that since I was in university, but I'm curious to know.
So study strategies are very, very helpful for students. I mean, the main aspect or goal of the education system is for students to do well, and it's based upon regurgitation and memorization. However, our education system does not teach students how to memorize, and it doesn't teach students study strategies. So they just have to figure it out on their own. Mm-hmm. And there's no one to teach students these things. They figure it out if they are building their self-awareness, if they're doing their research. But we, as an organization, Survival Scholars, we have taken it upon ourselves to teach students these valuable skills that is needed for them to do well in their exams, for them to learn about themselves, and so that they can strive to have that balance with their mental health and educational journey.
How long has Survival Scholars been operating and serving students in this manner?
So Survival Scholars actually started in 2017 when I was in my second year of university. I was realizing that many of my students and classmates were saying, you know, they just want to finish UE, get that certificate, and get out, right? And I thought that that was so different from my experience of school, you know, enjoying school. And that's so important. Education should not just be something that we do, it should be something we enjoy. And we as Survivor Scholars ensure that we help students to enjoy learning, have a love for learning, because this is a lifelong journey. Learning is a lifelong journey.
How do you teach someone to love something, especially something of which they see as extremely challenging, something I don't care to do or don't necessarily want to do?
So the thing is that education is valuable. Education is knowledge. We all need knowledge for our life to grow, to develop ourselves, for our careers. And students may see education as challenging only because of the system, because of the education system. But students really and truly love to learn, but the way in which it is done is very monotonous. And so how we teach students to love learning is to teach them in terms of tapping into their learning styles and their multiple intelligences. So varying activities, looking at their sense of sight, touch, taste, smell, incorporating all these different senses into their learning, and using the arts as well to help them to enjoy learning, to have fun, so that it will be a varied approach instead of that monotonous read, write, or talking.
Varied approach, but going back to the basics that we tend to forget.
Indeed.
And that's incredible. You know, what are some of the organizations you've collaborated with here in TNT?
So we have collaborated with many different organizations, NALIS being one, WESN organization, the Inter-American Development Bank. So we have both our partners and sponsors that help us to execute our journey. We have the Parent-Teacher Association, which is a crucial aspect of students' growth and development. Yeah.
When you started this, you understood what you wanted to do. But how did you get to the point in realizing or understanding this is how I'm going to do it?
In terms of getting to that point, I mean, in this journey, I would say it's ever evolving. It's ever changing and growing. And even though we may have a blueprint plan, sometimes it may change in terms of the direction that we go. But the main goal is to really and truly help students have that balance with their mental health and their academic performance, using the arts and storytelling. That's the main goal. And how we do that would be in varied approaches, whether school tours, whether one-on-one coaching, group coaching, different camps. But yeah.
You've done quite a number of school tours from what I've seen. You've worked with a number of schools here in TNT. I'm curious to know though, because I mean the mere fact that many of these organizations have chosen to collaborate with Survival Scholars says a lot about the organization in itself. And if you do get a chance, I would encourage you to go to survivalscholars.com. You'll see a list of schools actually that they have worked with. But what's some of your success stories in the 7 years that you've been working with Survival Scholars?
So we have many different stories. So on students' journey, there are many different challenges that they face. Challenges they face in school, such as peer pressure, bullying, cyberbullying, at home as well in terms of divorce and separation, going through poverty, different challenges that students maneuver through their journey. And many times students and parents come to us to get that support with overcoming these challenges. And you know, it's so interesting because the students that come into our path are students who have that similarity and relatability to my experiences and my story. So I would have helped students to overcome bullying, peer pressure, low self-esteem, low self-confidence, different challenges at home, going through poverty and single parent family. And when I'm able to help those students in terms of overcoming those challenges, empowering them with the skills that they need, then you see that they improve in their academic performance. They improve along their educational journey.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever found yourself in a position where at times you even have to try and aid parents with this process? Because part of it is, even though parents may have faced this, or even a lot more challenges growing up, they may not necessarily comprehend or fully understand what their child may be facing now.
Most definitely, and parents do need that support system. And we are like a support system to parents, to teachers, to the guidance counselors as well. In terms of parents not understanding or relating to their child. And that's why they say, Dawsher, you are the perfect person, because students can relate to me. They can relate to my experiences. They can relate to my story. I can show them my trials that I've faced, and I can show them how that I overcame those challenges using the strategies that I used. Yeah.
Now, tell me about your team. I know Dawsher Charles is founder, and Dawsher Charles is with us, but we also have a CEO of Fun, and we have a Chief Technical Officer that is part of the core team.
Yes. So we have our Chief Technical Officer who has been with us from day one, Jordan Smith, since 2017. He helped us in terms of creating our logo, our website, you name it, all the technical aspects of developing our brand. He has supported us. And we also have team from our university students. So we actually have a UE Survivor Scholar Society who also have their own team, and they help us in terms of going on to our school tours with us as well, and different activities, our camps, they offer their support. And then we have our project coordinator, and we also have our evaluation and monitoring officer as well who are with us.
So I also see Jasmine. Tell us about Jasmine. Jasmine looks like a lot of fun.
Yes. So Jasmine is our chief puppeteer. She is the first puppet I created when I did play therapy. She's amazing. She has helped countless of students to feel safe, to feel welcomed, to feel like they're not alone on their journey. And interestingly enough, today is World Puppetry Day and World Poetry Day as well, even though we also have our SE exam in a few hours.
Yes, it's just a couple hours away. But also, you guys have not only collaborated with other organizations, but you've been awarded for the work that you've done, the Commonwealth as well as the Diana Award.
Yes, we are really grateful for the organizations that recognize the work that we do. These international organizations, being recognized by them, really speaks to the work and the impact that we have created through our journey. And it just proves that our work is so much needed in our schools, in our country, throughout the Caribbean, and we are just really grateful and inspired by it to keep on going, to continue to make tremendous impact.
Well, now is the time to tell people, why is it that they should work with survival scholars? Why should they collaborate with survival scholars? Because we've gone through all the positives, but now it's the buy-in, so why should people work with survival scholars? So
others should work with survival scholars because of our mission. We understand how life is. We understand how unpredictable things can be. For instance, COVID-19. Our students were not equipped with the skills and the tools to deal with COVID-19. And that should be a perfect example as to why we should incorporate coping skills, social and emotional learning to build students' resilience in our education system. These tools not only help students to cope with the challenges they face along their educational journey, but it also helps them to cope with the challenges they face at home, and it can also transfer into their work life. So it's so important in terms of the mission that we have. We have a strong mission, we have a strong team, we have really great evaluation and monitoring of our programs. So for instance, at the end of our school tour, at the end of each session visit at each school, we do evaluation of students' experience with us. And we get really, really amazing remarks from them. And more so the remarks include, please come again. Please, other students need this. Please, so we really and truly want to expand the work that we do. We would like to collaborate with strategic partners that can help us to expand throughout Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, we have gone to many different areas in Trinidad and Tobago, from Point Fortin, San Fernando, Port of Spain, different areas. But we would like to be in each and every school in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as we would like to expand throughout the Caribbean. And so this is a really, really great opportunity for partner organizations to join our mission and really come with us to really help students get these needed skills along their journey. And even this would help in terms of our crime and violence rate, because what is causing the high increase of student fights and different bullying is because of the lack of social and emotional skills within our students today. And so it's so important for us to really and truly teach students these practical skills, because sometimes, we do many programs in schools, and the thing that students say with our programs is they love the activities. In our school tours, we do different activities, including puppetry, of course, because we have the chief puppeteer. So students actually make puppets, they do skits, they do Zumba, and they do other art and craft activities. They even incorporate poetry and song into their activities to help them de-stress. Right? Apart from learning the coping strategies, these students engage in many hands-on activities, which makes the session fun. And that's why, in the feedback form, you would see they give 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10, because they are so ecstatic whenever we visit these schools. Yeah.
Ms. Charles, we are out of time, but where can people get more information or even try to get in contact with you? So
they can contact us via our phone number, 369-7522, and they could visit our Survivor Scholars page on Facebook, and they can also visit our website, survivorscholars.com.
Well, Ms. Charles, thank you, and to your team for all that you guys do, because it's a huge aspect of education, as you mentioned, that you wouldn't find in the classroom, and sometimes the support systems don't even exist within the home. So for filling that gap, thank you very much indeed for recognizing that gap and filling that gap.
Thank you so much for having me, and I want to wish all our SCA students the very best in their exams today.
Can't top that indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a break here on the program, and when we return, we'll welcome our final guest for this edition of the program. We'll be right back.